And the reason we're doing it is because you already have this experience. It's not like you don't know how to do this. So, how'd you do it?
I guess our table is very practical or convenient because it's not really not a requirement. There's the most convenient option for being an engineer for being an engineering school makes sense. We are a transfer student and the only opportunity for a transfer was Purdue. So
So kind of like a lot of these engineers, you have a choice about.
Yeah, we have a choice.
Okay. Anything else? Any other?
Through your college or through your courses, you integrate into the get to know people, get to know the culture. Very quite a culture shock. You get quite different social interactions and everything. It is something to experience all the problems.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Let's go to this page.
Well, we made a list on the board.
Yeah.
I guess we have a lot of different things. As far as methods, Sean and I both had mentors at our undergraduate institution who knew about Purdue and kind of led us to Purdue. I think we all did research online looking at the program webpage and rankings. We did campus tours, got to know Purdue. Networking, again, like getting in touch with the faculty there, people who went to Purdue. Google Maps. The location. Oh, the location, yeah. Yeah, the three of us are outsiders, but and then criteria, funding and costs are important. Level of interest, so like you said, you looked at the courses to see what was available, what interested you. You were drawn by the research you wanted to do, or the professor. You were drawn by the lunch.
You were hoping that Neil Armstrong would be teaching, or
my home, I was hoping that you would be my home.
Yeah.
Reputation was important, and like for engineering, the reputation, and then for us, our advisors, reputation. We were very interested in that.
All right. Good. How about you guys?
Well, we looked at the programs that Purdue offers and engineering all over the place. We visited schools and found like that this is the best most place. The location to home was not close, depending on who it was.
There was kind of a small thing, but there was just a little bit of politics thrown in because the state of Indiana had a better budget. So as far as like expecting state might go towards the university, the other one control that, maybe draw comparison to Illinois, which at the same time was going through both an admissions scandal and the flagship University of Engineering, University of Illinois there in Champaign, but also kind of the poor economic state of the state of Illinois.
And that scandal hit on the watch of the woman who used to be the dean of engineering. You know that? Linda Kay was their provost. She had nothing to do with that scandal, but she'd been the dean of engineering. And then she went up to UC Davis. That was pretty fascinating. So she's had a very colorful career. She's a very nice woman. She's very smart. Okay, so.
So we came up with some themes, so like funding and costs, so availability, scholarships, and fellowships kind of dictated where we go. Also educational opportunities, so for us, we're like looking at professors that we can work with, as well as what Purdue was strong in. So engineering is one that's really strong in. Also the environment, people talked about how friendly the people were in Purdue and seemed to be across Lafayette, and also kind of the common experience of first-year students kind of have instant community in those kinds of settings. And also, one was family and familiarity. So, like, for me, my partner and I were applying to grad schools at the same time, at the same location. So we needed a university that was strong in both biology as well as anthropology, and so that kind of limited our choices. Some people said that living in Indiana or living close by, they had grown up with Purdue, always in their lives somehow, always participating in those programs at Purdue, and so they're familiar with it. And also reputation, so looking at rankings, publicity when Purdue popped up in the news, and also like its goals of community engagement as a land-grant institution.
Anybody? No?
We're good.
Very good, okay.
We were born in Hubby Hall, actually.
Yeah, you were born in Hubby Hall. I thought that wins a lot, actually. So I have two other questions. I don't want to draw this out, obviously, but there were some interesting things that occurred to me. Just an observation, first of all. Everybody mentioned both quantitative things and qualitative things, right? You've got the rankings, you've got the money, in the state budget and so forth. These are all numbers. But then everybody mentioned the qualitative things as well. The friendliness, right? The chance to meet Neil Armstrong. I mean, I'm serious. These are all very important things. So keep that in mind. It's not just about numbers. Numbers are pure, and numbers are simple, and numbers are definite. But the reality that numbers refer to is infinitely messy and complicated. Don't ever forget that. Numbers are abstractions. They're not real. Okay? I'm sorry, that sounds like I'm the Antichrist up here, but anyway, so that's one. So what I wanted to ask was, in the nicest possible way, okay, without getting into, if you were giving advice now to somebody younger than yourself about how to do this, what would you tell them to do that might be a little different from the way you did it? Right? Nobody regrets coming here. I'm sure of that. So I'm not asking you to say, well, I can do it over again. No, but if you were telling somebody else to do it, like, what would you draw their attention to? Anybody? What would occur to you? Stuff that you maybe forgot to do or didn't do quite as thoroughly. Anything? Yeah.
I think I would take a more of an anthropologist approach. I focused a lot on looking at rankings and also looking at like courses that were offered and whatnot, but I think also taking the anthropologist approach and talking to more people in the community, because like I didn't know, I looked at a few apartments but we didn't know where we were going to live until a month before we got here, and that's because I had a friend move here who also helped find us an apartment because they'd been here longer, and so I think I would take a more anthropologist approach, kind of found out more about what services were offered on campus, what they were actually like, the pragmatics of it, and also what the local political environment was like more from people than just looking up in the news a little bit.
All right. Anybody else? Anything? Yeah.
As an international student, I would have researched the formalities of coming to the USA for school so much better. So when I originally applied, I thought, how hard could this be? I'll just do it. Like, I didn't even know about the GRE yet. So like, I was in a world for pain. I don't even got to Homeland Security yet. So these are things that, it's great to sort of be like romantic and Purdue's cool. I've always wanted to work under there. So in terms of your community, it's like that community's cool. I've always wanted to work in like a beautiful forest or whatever, in that locale, how beautiful and romantic, but it's the practical, like, can I actually live there? I did get here. But would I have warned my younger self about, I would have warned my younger self about a lot of things about immigration and what it's going to cost, but also how much time it was going to take, and how many people you are going to have to communicate with, and try to be on the okay level with.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Good. And that relates to something that you alluded to, and this is my last sort of question. If you're working in a community in Uganda or Swaziland or Burkina Faso or something, you can expect some cultural learning. You're trying for it. You know it's going to be different. So you're prepared for it. But when you came to Purdue, whether you came from overseas or whether you came from some community down the road, chances are, one or two things about this place that surprised you, that you weren't expecting to find. And I'm talking about cultural adaptation. You know, my friend Michael Agar said that culture is an abstraction. It only happens between people. And so it only happens when you encounter something and they go, oh, that's the, you know, like your example of the university. So that's an example of culture, right? Did anybody experience this? You got to Purdue and you took sigh of relief like Peter, my dream was come true, and then you woke up the next day, oh wait, there's more. I've got to get used to something. Anything? Yeah.
Indiana means the land of the moon. I've been here and I was like never self-made. I met like 5 hours ago 3 Hawaiians and like astronauts over here and very few studying Crete. Osagi, tons of natives and even though there's not a reservation here and they're wiped out from the area, they're all connected and something I didn't know.
Okay. All right. Good.
I'll
Yeah.
give you a counterpoint on that. I came from a same-sex reservation, and so they're just like, we had all sorts of like political identity issues, like wound up in economics, in like mascots for schools, like all sorts of that. And I haven't really seen much of that here, and that's like a complete shift.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Like, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
From the perspective of going to a school in Indianapolis and being, sort of put in a category based on whatever your academic interests are or your interest in academics period, and then coming to a school where everyone's kind of like that. It makes for interesting when you realize that certain things you don't have to explain, like why, I mean, it comes to the end of it, like why are you so dead tired in the morning? Because you were doing, a certain project until a certain time period, or your priorities, you might find that, there's definitely some variation. You have, you have a lot of people who work harder than others, but you have this like general, I guess you could say, what might happen in a place where everyone has been accepted at Purdue might mean something about their, I guess, perspective on life, or like what they're trying to do with their life lately. So.
My son had exactly the same reaction. He's a computer engineer, and he was looking at schools, and when he got to MIT and Carnegie Mellon, he suddenly realized, he said, Dad, they're all like me. He said, it's great. I don't have to explain to people what I'm interested in and why I am the way I am. And it's true. He was totally at home in these environments. Yeah. Somebody? Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that really stood out to me when I first got here was the Greek community.
Yeah.
And how kind of widespread Greek life is here. Like for me, that was something I never even thought of when I chose college. So that was kind of a big shock.
Yeah.
This is pretty. I don't know the exact percentage, but it's about 50%, I think.
Anything else from the...
Yeah, definitely. I spent the summer working in Tanzania. I think I got a bigger culture shock when I arrived in Indiana. The way people interact is totally different than what I'm used to. The Greek life was actually a big shock to the system as well. The whole idea of having to be on a list to get into a party. Just, I don't know. It just baffles me, like.
I would say the same thing. The culture differences between Germany and the US something just seemed immense, and I wasn't quite prepared for that. I could have read a little bit more about that.
So I went to the US last summer. Middle summer, and I was like, oh, it's fine. It's like going great. Went out, and then I came home and I was like, oh my god. What did I just do? But like, it just takes getting used to the place.
And it sneaks up on you. I know exactly. I was educated in the UK. And I mean, I couldn't begin. Winston Churchill once said, the US and Britain are two great civilizations divided by a common language. And he's right. I mean, it's just, the more you get into it, the more strange it is. So Americans, and this was me when I went there, if you ask, well, do you play tennis, right? The American's going to say, oh, yeah, I play tennis. I've got this kind of racket, and I've got these kind of shoes, and I do this, and I do that. You know, and he might have been out on the court maybe once or twice in the last year, but he's going to come on like gangbusters. I'm talking to some Brit, where he says, do you play tennis? The guy goes, yeah, I do a bit. And he's a Wimbledon champion. That's the way they do it. And you learn that very painfully. And it's like you're talking the same language, but it's not the same culture. Okay, well, maybe we should just finish on that. Does anybody got any other one more thing? No? Good. All right, so the point of doing this was simply to sort of get you to talk about your own experience with this, because everybody knows something, because nobody knows everything, and we're here to learn from one another. So we're going to have another one of these. Can't think right off the top of my head when the next one is, but it's in a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's going to be advertised, and we're doing this in a slightly different sequence. We're going to do the next one. We're going to do is about, okay, you picked a community. How do you assess assets in that community, and how do you assess needs? How do you figure out what they are really good at in that community already before you even got there? And then how do you figure out what might be needed that you might be able to help them with? So that's the second workshop, and the last workshop is all about putting it together and looking at the project cycle start to finish. And that'll be the end of it for this semester. Okay? So, thank you so much. And let's give a round of applause to our presenters, because I think they did a great job.